Okay.
I'd like to call the January Park and Rec meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any changes to the agenda?
No,
For approval of the agenda,
Second.
motion been made and second to approve the agenda. All in favor? Say
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public input. Robert, you got anything?
No, nothing back here.
Okay. Okay, Ginger, Wapaka County City of London Agreement Meal Site.
okay, this is just an annual agreement that we sign with Wapaka County to allow them to use the community center at the Washington Center. $219 a month for a total of $2,628. The agreement has been going well thus far. I spoke with the coordinator over at Wapaka County and they're doing a status quo right now. They are not back at a full schedule yet. And that is only because they do not have enough volunteers to cover Fridays. So they're sending double meals on Thursdays home and the congregate meals are taking a meal home with them on Thursday afternoons. I don't have much other than that. Besides, I do recommend the signing of this.
Look for a motion to approve the meal agreement with the Wapaka County.
I'll make that motion.
Been
I'll
made.
second it.
That's- Second. Ernie made the second. Motion's been made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, Ginger.
Oh.
Parking lot.
Okay, back in November, we talked about, or Bob actually recommended that we put this on the agenda, so I went out, and had the contractor that put together the last boat launch docks project, Schmidt Boat Lifts and Docks out of Kakana. We met and looked at the site that is, right by the gazebo on the river trail. This is the quote that they put together for us. Because of the low river right now, it was actually kind of nice of them to see the extent that it would take for them to have to put the gangway down to the docks. Bob, you met with me.
Was this the new?
This is the new quote with commercial gangway. He had initially given me a quote with a residential. I wasn't comfortable. It's double the price, but I feel like being a municipality, it would probably be a heavier user base. And I would think that we would want to go with a commercial style down there. But if you guys feel differently, this is all just up to conversation. If you guys want to have me look into it further and eventually include it on a capital project list. So this is all, I'm just looking for direction from you guys.
Could you explain a little bit more exactly what this is?
Sure. So this would be a dock system that we have in the spring run, boats and trailers and that park all the way down to County Highway X. They launch at our site and then, yeah, that's perfect. And they'll park down Werner Allen Boulevard. This would be to provide an overfull site where they can park permit. That's another part of the conversation. Do we include this as part of our permit parking where they would pay that permit and then they'd be able to park here at 9:15 and get off on the dock there. So the driver of the truck would pull his truck and trailer up to 9:15 park, Well, his partner would drive the boat that he just launched up and pick him up. It was just a thought of Bob's. And when we had that site open up with the municipal, there was a lot of different discussions about that site, and I did a little research. We've had past discussions about putting commercial there. We've had discussion about putting residential there. Park space, obviously, but just kind of what do we want to do with that site? 15.
One of the things we were gonna do, or thinking of doing, is tear that concrete, or that blacktop out that's in there. Because that parking lot is all rutted up with full of holes and everything else.
Yep.
It's a mess.
Get that out of there and then get it blacktop to match up with the Waters, because Waters just did theirs this past year, and theirs really looks nice.
Mhm.
And we could get the parking lot, say, blacktop out of it, and get it gravelled this year or something until we get the funds to finish it.
Right.
And then the guys can park their boat and then go down there. It'd be a good overflow parking, because on a busy day, they're parked up all along by the sewage treatment plant.
Right.
What about
the docks
lights?
be able to come out of the
Yes.
fund for the boat launch?
Yep. All of this work would be able to be self-funded by the boat launch.
I was just looking that up for you.
Yeah.
So Judy and her last finance packet in December has about 52,000 earmarked for the boat launch account.
And I was gonna talk to Judy to see whether it would be possible to get the parking lot, say, another capital projects or something, to get the parking lot area.
Mhm.
That wouldn't have to come out of the boat launch fund.
Oh.
Just the dock alone would be the boat launch fund.
That's a thought too.
The other question was, I got a bunch of people at the bus garage because they park over there.
Mhm.
So, and then also, like, they always tell me that all the people from the Waters are parking over there too.
Sure.
So if we did all this and went through, where's the parking for the people at the bus garage gonna go? They've been using it for, well, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
You know, as long as that's been gone.
Right where them yellow buses
would have the
are, you're
option
gonna
to
put a
pay.
Parking lot
That's the
across the
park- That's
street.
the bus garage's problem. No, I'm kidding.
Well, no, it's a
No,
question that was
it's
brought,
a
actually
valid
brought up to me
question.
again today.
Valid point.
They don't really,
They need to purchase a boat launch permit.
That's
love
up to
it.
you guys. That's all great conversation.
the few cars from the bus garage isn't gonna do the grand scheme of how many boats, trailers you can fit in there. I really like the idea of me backing my boat in, my son in it,
Mhm.
going to park over there and my son coming to pick me up over there.
Mhm.
The same concept, drop them off right there.
Mhm.
It will alleviate that parking lot over there and it'll make it flow a lot better. If you can do it that way, like he could drop me off there, I grab the truck, drive over there, back in, pull out, gone.
Right, and that's not what I'm saying though, is that what we do all this, and that's, I think this is a better grand scheme of things, but you got 6 people, 7 people
Mhm.
that park there. They're gonna come to me and ask me right away, well, what was this meeting about tonight? Because we seen it was a usage thing, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And is it to the point where we're gonna have to just talk to them, the city, maybe not the city, the school board or whatever, and say, hey, this is what we're doing, just to keep them informed, you know?
I would think if we decide to charge that along with the boat fee, the park over there, then we would have to talk to Mr. Schleter and find out the policing side of it and what kind of a turmoil that would bring to him.
but this would, if we did this, they should be parking where them buses are, because we're already talking about relighting that road so they could cross the road. You know what I mean? We're already,
I 100% agree with what you're saying, but if you were standing there listening to them, it is physically impossible for them to park there. I don't know why. I'm not there. I don't work there. I'm just reiterating what I was.
I think the
Yes.
biggest problem is gonna be on the weekend. That's when the boat launch.
There's no
gets
buses running on
packed.
the weekend.
And on the
Right.
weekend, them guys aren't gonna be parked there.
they
Correct.
need to
I don't-
figure out how to park 6 cars over there. where all the buses
Exactly.
are. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you're right.
Revamp
I
that
just-
parking lot or rearrange your buses so that you can fit cars over there.
You got something, Mike?
Well, they do have
I
parking
agree with what you're saying.
on this side of that fence. That's what I was wondering. Is that some school board
That's
parking?
part of the school's property. If I'm not mistaken, on this side of the fence where the buses, the fence goes by the buses, because they can park in that parking lot.
Correct. I don't know why they choose not to. Like I said, I don't work there. I'm just reiterating what was asked.
I don't think there's really a problem until we start charging. If
Well, I
we
think
were
we
to
should.
decide to charge for people to park there, man. Then after that, it's however you want to handle it, but then we have to have chief involved in that conversation.
Maybe there's an option that Ginger and Robert can come up with a scheme that there is boat launch parking with trailers and several car,
I was gonna ask.
like we have over
you
here.
Just, but I hadn't had the chance with us both being on vacation the last month. Was there a drawing done up of this at one point? Did you ever see one around? I dug and
No,
maybe I dreamt it. I've been having weird dreams.
but
lately.
maybe you dig in here a little bit more and you put
Yeah,
boat and trailer parks here
Oh.
and that side has to be paid.
yeah,
And maybe on the other side, because you got to
Public.
park here too, that people in the cars
Absolutely.
might want to stop here
it's gonna be a
Here's the
nice
park.
place to fish too.
and then, yeah, the
Is
fish.
that new dock system that can be handicap accessible?
It will not be, it cannot be, based off of the elevation of the river. The gangway would just be too steep. We already have handicap accessible launch site down at the boat launch, so that's kind of our
Could put a sign. up
pass
that says,
Yep.
ADA
Combination.
accessible
at launch site,
400.
yeah.
So would it be only for boat launching? I mean, would people be allowed to fish on it too? Because then
Absolutely.
you get kind of cluttered if somebody's fishing and then somebody wants to use it for the,
Well, actually, for the boat, all it's gonna be is a guy's gonna pull up there and
Drop
pick
off.
up somebody and leave. It's not gonna be docking for boats. And after that rush and say up probably to May 1st or somewhere in middle of May or whatever, nobody's gonna be using them docks.
My son will. My son will be sitting there every day fishing.
Fishing, yeah. It's gonna be
It's gonna be a really
great
nice-
asset, I think, right where it is because of the parking and stuff by the park and everything else. You got a gazebo right there. I think it's a great spot for it.
I really like the idea of, especially with the walleye run of just being able to drop the boat in the water, go park the truck and have somebody else come pick you up. I mean,
Definitely gonna open up that discussion.
with,
well, I mean, it'll.
So bad.
with this
really open it
proposal,
up.
are you going to be blacktopping that parking lot as well?
It's up to you guys.
Because I'd hate to put a dock out there and have that parking lot the way it's at.
Oh, right.
It's a danger. So
Yeah.
I mean, are we putting the cart before the horse? Maybe do the parking lot first and then the dock?
Our first step is gonna be, and we could possibly do this in-house, is just pulling up that concrete asphalt nightmare that you can see. And then maybe laying a nice just breaker rack down, for the time being, have it just be gravel lot until we decide what to do with it.
Would it be a bad thing to leave it gravel? I mean, less maintenance
I think that would
compared
be
to what we're talking the uses for?
You don't want to leave it gravel.
Be a lot more maintenance probably, but
Or,
yeah,
okay.
just because I don't know what those potholes are from, but if they're from, I don't know.
That's
That
just
asphalt's
years
been there
of
for
water
50
freezing.
years.
Yeah.
Right,
Right?
it'll settle there.
Just from where?
Yeah.
And well, to me, if you leave it gravel, people today can't park when you got lines. So if you leave it gravel,
That's true.
I'm serious. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a very mishmash. So I think that if you're gonna do that, you're better off gravel or
Lined.
blacktop, even if we have to wait a year.
Yep.
In the long run, I think we're better off to put in blacktop and put in lanes so that people make
This
an
is still
attempt.
just a
to-
discussion, but we
Mhm.
we kind of have a consensus that this is a good idea, that everybody'd be in favor of like this, so we could get some more information on it.
Mr. Barrington, just like you said, painting the lines on there where Chad brought up about the multi-use
Hmm.
parking lot, it define where you're at, so makes sense.
Good point.
Would we be able to use the boat launch money to do the parking lot? Is that,
If it's tied to the boat launch, yes. Which the intent of that would be.
Would you stay within that footprint that's already outlined there, parking lot wise, or would you try to increase it?
That's what I was gonna bring up also.
You could increase
The
it.
way it's set up now, I went off of parking stall widths and dimensions that are in the other lot, and realistically, you could only run 17 angled from one access point to the other, having a one-way flow of traffic and only allowing single vehicles to park up in that northeast corner. And if you decide to change the footprint of it, then of course that's gonna add to the overall cost of the, would be the northwest side.
To Robert's point, we might want to relook, if that's redesigned, then relook at the entrance and exit point, because I think there's one driveway like right in the middle.
Yes,
It's
there is.
so mishmash
Yeah.
right now. And
Yeah,
Yeah, there might have been curbs at one time.
yeah, and
so
maybe-
we might want to put
but
a
they're
new,
demolished.
and define that in and out a little bit better too.
And maybe go out and see if you can get a bid, come up on a, certain size parking lot and talk to a contractor and see what it's gonna run.
Well, that could be included in a street project, if we wanted to. Oh, Robert says no, sorry.
You said yes. Remember last meeting?
I guess that was kind of all we were after for this
Yep.
meeting, was to see if we were kind of getting everybody's approval to keep going ahead with this and then bring it back at a later date.
It would be used by, I think, a lot of people.
Because there's a park there, so.
I'd park over there, even if the parking lot wasn't full by Johnny's.
I
Just to
mean,
get out of that.
let's
just
be
to get out
honest,
of
it'll
that
be
mess.
used by a lot of people for 1 month out of the year.
I know that,
No, but the docks will be used permanently. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Those docks are gonna be used. all
kids
the time.
are fishing all the time.
There are kids
Yep.
fishing off of every dock all
I
summer
have my own
long.
private
It's
dock behind my
crazy.
shop and people use it. I
Yeah.
mean,
You
docks
can
are.
never get enough offshore
Going over
parking
shop.
or fishing, I should say.
Yeah.
right, and they got bass tournaments all summer long
Mhm.
that overflow that parking lot.
Yeah.
It's not just walleye season.
No. Oh,
The gazebo. That was basically fishermen working with Stylen family.
Yep.
And their benefit of the year was, every year was the fishing tournament. And when they finally made their milestone to raise the funds for that. That was one of the things the fishermen were talking about at the tournament. Generously, and they thought someday that could, that'd be a good asset to that area, and if that could happen, it would be smart. Reasons. Winnicott always gets all the big name bass fishermen and stuff like that in the summer months. In summertime, it's slow. You'll rarely see it like it is in the walleye run, but those bass tournaments come to town, they bring a lot of revenue in town.
I fished it a few.
And those guys come up here from all over the United States to pre-fish for a big tournament. They stay in New London hotels and they put in here. You could have middle of the week on a July day and have the boat launch full with great big stickered up, lettered up boats that average $80,000 a piece. That's just their tackle boxes in their trucks. But yeah, it would be an asset to draw that type of people. And then all the rest of the time, it would be a place for locals, kids to recreate and sit, and even during tournaments times, locals like to go down there and see their weigh-ins and stuff like that, or talk to them when they're coming off the water. So it's, something to keep thinking about and dreaming about.
I mean, you'd also have to have a sidewalk at some point to connect that parking lot across that grass area.
Right.
That's something Robert's crew can do though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Something to do.
There's a sidewalk from the gazebo to the north already, isn't there?
Yeah.
It goes from the gazebo to
To the trail.
the walkway.
Yeah. So
That
there's
trail
half one
needs Work itself,
right here.
Oh, down that.
quite a bit.
What's that?
The trail itself needs
Oh, yeah.
work.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to have a sidewalk along the road though as well. Wolf River Avenue towards the boat launch, if you're gonna have parking there.
Yep.
So
What you
you
mean?
take.
Yeah, but they can walk the
Riverwalk.
river
Yeah,
walk
but
for that.
Yeah, then you can enjoy. the
Actually
scenery.
recommended by Safe Routes to School as well.
Yeah, you could,
Or
you could
that's,
connect the parking lot,
yeah.
with a sidewalk. And then they could take the trail.
Hey, Ginger, now you got something to do.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, director's report.
I know that the Hatton Stadium and Wall project was on a possible list, agenda item list. Just update that I have not met with the Hatton Stadium Foundation since our meeting. I will be meeting with Mike Frederick this week to talk about a timeline for that and to put the both projects out on bid separately. A couple agenda items that I may have coming down the pipeline include another insurance reimbursement provider similar to the two that we already have at the Aquatic and Fitness Center. Those agreements bring in revenue based off of client use and also give the clients a discount. So I'll be meeting with that group as well. And then not much otherwise. You can read through the rest of the projects that I've been working on. That's really all.
Granted, it was a short window, but did you hear any feedback from the sled and ice skate little kiosk that you had on there?
I went
Feedback?
down there last week when we still had snow and it was super busy. There was a girl out there on the ice skating rink, like doing pirouettes and like just fancy ice skating moves. And so I figure she knows the ice a little bit. So I asked her how it was and she said it was fantastic. The sled hill was packed and kids seemed to be loving it. So yeah,
I had
really
some,
nice update.
I had some questions on that ice skating rink. I was wondering why it was placed on the cement
Mhm.
instead of by the pool as it had in the past.
That was a recommendation based off of, the company. They do recommend that just so that it's a more even ice and a colder ice. It seems to hold up better with the varying elements, like for instance, right now, how it's like, we're just on the brink of freezing sometimes. And if it was on the ground that was, just at frost level, it wouldn't hold that ice from the bottom as much.
I guess my only concern was that's a lot of weight to be on that parking lot. And I
Yeah.
didn't know what the long-term of
Yeah,
having it there would be. So,
never, no, Luke seemed
How
to
many gallons of
agree.
water is it?
What's that?
How many gallons of water?
Sure, that's a good question.
Well, figure how many gallons of water is, spread it out over the time. Is it more than a
Yeah.
2,000-pound car?
No idea.
I mean, I drove by it the other day and it looked like it was, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Foot-
about a foot of
foot of
ice.
ice?
Yep.
My roof gets like that sometimes.
If you ever been on top of bumper to bumper, that's all it is. It keeps us separated from the elements.
Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, please stay off the ice rink until it's.
Yeah, right now, do not go on the ice rink.
Well,
It doesn't take much to really mess it up for the whole winter, so.
Probably got a couple inches of water on it right now after today.
Parents, if you take your kids down there, please stop them from trying to break ice or making snow angels on the ice rink when it's above freezing.
agenda item, Ginger.
None 100% sure of yet. working with that kiosk vendor, a kayak kiosk vendor that I would bring to you guys. And then the Silver and Fit program.
Keep the discussion going on the,
And yeah, absolutely.
meeting date, February 7th.
And the annual report will be on that agenda as well.
Anybody got anything else? Chad, you got anything?
I don't.
For a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been made second.